Now,
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Ryan Ortiz coming at you live with the first place locals deck profile. Playing the man behind the camera. This one's a little bit more rushed because he wasn't recording the first time. I know, it's your beat. Got first place at locals, technically first. I split with Zach Stone, the Invoked master, in the finals. So we could all go home at freaking 11 o'clock at night. We were tired after playing 5 rounds of Swiss and Top Cut for like 6 hours. So why not? Chose Dogmatika. That's all I had for the event, but I ended up winning, so pretty clean. Let's get into it. So 3 copies of normal summon, 3 copies of normal summon, 2 copies of big bitch, and 1 copy of bigger bitch. So these are your normal summons of the deck. Not much to say. You maximize on Ecclesia because you want to see your normal summon starter as much as possible. If you don't see a normal summon in Alistair, you want to see a normal summon in Ecclesia. Literally, you just want to play the game every turn if you can. Maximus is insane. Don't let anyone tell you it's bad because of the mirror match, because even in the mirror match, you can outplay your opponent. I'll get to that in the extra deck. And 2 Fleur because you want to close out the game as fast as possible. And hand traps. Locals call Gamma. 3 Ash. 3 Imperm. This was the change from Zach's deck. He was playing like much fewer hand traps, but in a local standpoint, you never know what you're going to play against. I saw like an Orcus player, I saw like a couple Dragon players, I saw some guy playing freaking Dino Dolls.
a lot of the mirror.
A lot of the mirror. There's 5 of us out of like a 16-man event.
And then I think the biggest thing from your deck, and especially for this local, was that everyone was prepped for Droll because just because like every single deck right now searches, so meaning Gamma for this deck was probably the better call.
Yeah, if you get Drolled on your Meltdown, you want to like be able to have the Gamma to just negate it, because that's how you keep going off and how you keep winning the game, because this also gets you an Omega for free on top of it. So that's it for the spells. That's it for the hand traps. Moving on to the spells, we got 1 copy of I Win the Game, 4 more copies of Alistair. This is harder to draw. We got 3 copies of I Draw 2. We got 3 copies of I Draw 2 with extra steps. So this was insane because I got rolled in the mirror match after I used my terraforming, and I activated this, looked at his hand, I sniped his desires back into the deck and just impermed his Ecclesia, and then we got in this like weird top decking situation later on in the game, and because I put back his cards, he literally couldn't beat me. I had triple Ecclesia on my board, so I literally couldn't like play the game, but I just kept poking him. It was really funny. And then we played 2 copies. It should be 3 moving forward, but I couldn't get a 3rd before the event. It worked out fine. I didn't see it too much. I didn't see it not enough. It was just right. Some of the time, but not all the time. And 3 copies of literally the best card in the deck. Why'd they give us a dump from extra and an add from Graver deck to hand? Who knows?
Fun fact, Bell negates that card.
You can Ghost Spell this card.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to sell me on Ghost Spell, but I'm okay with that.
Also, like, especially for the mirror too, like, it stops invocation and cuts them off Alistair, which is kind of huge.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't have Meltdown up.
Yeah.
Then for the traps, 2 Punishment, 1 Schism, and 2 Ice Dragon's Prison. My favorite card in the deck, probably overperformed last night. You wait for Dino to go to battle phase, you beat them. You wait for Dragons to hit like the right part of their combo, you beat them. I played against some guy playing Altergeist. Why does everyone fly down Crenshaw?
That wasn't loud at all.
Yeah. So, I played some guy playing Altergeist, you know, some idiot that's totally not here, you know, sitting behind the camera. And he drolled me, and I activated this and hit Meluseek and droll. I made him so sad. I love you, Sam. And then Punishment, it's a starter. It sends your Titaniclad. 40 in the main, no upstart because you don't want to lose the roll. Then in the extra deck, Secure, Almirage, Phoenix. Shout out to Daniel for hooking it up with the Phoenix. BLS, and that's it for the links. This was cool in the mirror because I was able to banish the Ecclesia that I had no real out for because I couldn't beat over it. It was pretty nice. Then for my fusions, to Makaba, Agades. Okay, I spent way too long trying to find this shit. Like, they told me they had it. One guy at the shop looked, said they couldn't find it. Other guy said, I know I got it. And then he couldn't find it, so they talked to the one guy named Keyjohn. Shout out to Keyjohn for finding it for me finally. He knew it was like in some pile, it's some random thing by the bathroom. I don't know why the fuck it was there, but whatever. 2 copies of Pop, 1 copy of Pop. You must play this card. Sometimes you do not want to resolve Natis when they have nothing else on their board or it's not advantageous. Sometimes you want to let them make their board and then use this on your turn. Then for the Shadolls, Winda, App Cologne, and Construct. This is amazing. We learned that you can summon this and out Conductor. Comes up sometimes, especially during the battle phase, because you really have no way to out their monsters. Then 1 Titaniclad. You only need 1. Do not play 2. If you're playing 2, you're playing the deck wrong. And 1 Omega. Omega is like insane. It puts back everything. And it keeps your engine going when it really should. It lets you play a lot longer than you should too. Because what I learned in the mirror is it's not who can establish their board first. It's not who draws sackier. I mean, it always is. But if you both draw playable, it's who can keep their engine going longer and harder than the opponent. And Omega becomes like the ultimate tool in that matchup. It basically is how you keep everything going. And on the side, 3 copies of the best hand trap this format. I didn't want to main it because, again, locals. And like, not all the decks lose to it. Not much to say about it. 1 copy of Pankratops. Sorry, Pankratops. I'm not M4 40. It's insane. I never drew it, but it came up. 2 Nibiru. Probably should be 3, but I couldn't bring myself to play the deck without this card, and I need to decide it and put it somewhere. It never came up, but it's one of those like safety net cards. I can't bring myself to play a deck without it if I'm playing Invoked. Then for back row hate, we played 3 Cyclone. I only played 1 real back row matchup, and I didn't see like any of these cards against him, but it didn't matter because Ash for Waking the Dragon is OP. Then the going first cards, 3 Judgment and a Maximus. I didn't see any of these either, but cards are insane, and especially if it's not the mirror, you want Maximus to get you a lot more value. Alright, and shout out to Daniel for providing me cards. Shout out to the old man Tim for my sponsorship and getting me this deck really last minute. Shout out to Zach for helping me with the list. Shout out to Shirtless MBT. You served me well for the tournament, and your body of a god will forever be with me in my deck box. And shout out to me and Zach. This is a photo him and I took at the YCS. I'm really happy to say that he looks good in the photo, and he's a very handsome man. Alright, thank you. Subscribe to Tim's Yugs on Instagram if you're in the Cali area. TIMSYUGS for lots of free Yu-Gi-Oh cards and giveaways. Alright, thanks.